think one of the reasons Black men respond in some of the ways we do is because there. It's been a long time until since Black men have had anybody to advocate for them, and the
Correct.
fear is always that you're going to sell out. You're going to.
Welcome to Male Reality Lessons, where topics are reviewed and discussed as iron sharpens iron. Greetings. Before we step into today's video, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Male Reality Lessons. We're a new channel and we're trying to grow. On today's episode, we're going to take a deep dive into what is plaguing these modern dating spaces in regards to relationships and men choosing properly, or what has been known as female chameleons. We're going to examine female chameleons from the perspective of a couple of other YouTubers that have done some deep dives, as well as commentary I will provide myself personally, and see if we can dissect what is actually happening since the passing of the late great Kevin Samuels.
I think one of the reasons Black men respond in some of the ways we do is because there. It's been a long time until since Black men have had anybody to advocate for them,
Correct.
and the fear is always that you're going to sell out. You're going to sell out. Something's going to happen. The other shoe going to drop. You're going to get the bag.
Yes.
And you know, the fear is all you need is enough money, the right deal, or the right woman, and you'll change up everything. And I think, but because that's been the experience. But this is different. You know, kind of like even when I sat down with Brittany Renner. Deion Sanders had her up at Jackson State. He did it for the benefit of the guys. No matter what her purpose was, it was his purpose.
Exactly.
It's just like when you sat down with her in April, you had your purpose, I had my purpose. Her purpose is whatever it is. But if it's a business move, you've alienated potential allies unnecessarily. And men, ultimately, I think what men really want to see is that her true nature. That's what a lot of people were waiting for her true, what people call her true nature to show up. And it didn't, and it popped up right on time. Because let me go back. Before 2 years ago, before this whole thing with her cousin, I had never really heard of April Mason saying anything particularly harsh about men. But one incident happened, and then all of a sudden, Black men became males and betas and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, where'd this shit come from?
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, you know, that train ain't never late. So I think what it is she is who she is, and it's been on full display. It maybe it's worked for her for so long, but here's the thing: if you're going to try to transition to selling to working with men, that ain't gonna work, because men don't buy that bullshit. Men will sit there and tolerate a lot and listen and cope, but before they give their money up. Not wholesale.
You're exactly
men,
right.
Especially Black men, we vet.
That's the thing, right? I mean, because when I pulled her up, the chat was going crazy. Like the chat knew. Even the Black women were like, "Hey, man, you know," and you know, there's this issue about women entering this space now, and whether they're chameleons and this or that, you know, because there are some strong content creators who are women who are absolutely doing their thing, like Pink Book Lessons. Right? But, you know, maybe there are other people who come in and there's like, yeah, it's just kind of like a cash grab. And to me, when I saw April Mason just dogging out the quote unquote majority of Black women, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, she absolutely seems like an ally to this space. I mean, she was going harder on Black women than a lot of Black men go on Black women over here. So it kind of, it seemed like, okay, she's seeing some of the same stuff that we're seeing. And then when she gets over here and comes up on the channel and on the panel and all this, then she absolutely turns it around after she comes up and and then is gonna ostracize and attack the same people that accepted her in.
Exactly, lead attorney. That is classic chameleon behavior. Now, let's see what Manosphere Highlights Daily has to say on this topic.
Meet the chameleon, a master of deception. She possesses charisma that could charm anyone, looks that captivate, and the art of persuasive communication.
4 ways women lose a good man and how you can avoid it. Pay attention. Let's get into it, ladies. Men, correct me if I'm wrong. Taking them for granted. A man been so good to you for so long, you no longer see the value in them, or the value in how they treat you. Not communicating well or effectively, like expecting men to read our minds and getting mad when they can't. Being dismissive about how you make him feel, or being overly defensive in response to how he feels. Basically, not liking being held accountable for your actions and how you've made that man feel. Last but not least, being selfish and unwilling to compromise.
But beneath her alluring facade lies a web of manipulation. In this eye-opening journey, we'll unveil the secrets of the chameleon's world, exposing the truth hidden behind the mask of charm.
And it's great to see everybody. Y'all can tell that today is a little different. I decided to come on, and not a lot of people do this, but they come on with no makeup on. And so today I was like, let me it's going to be one of them episodes where I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to go too far. Again, you guys, I am not going to tolerate any negativity on my platform. There's enough negativity in the world. That's not what Love Samantha Lee is about. So I will be blocking and rebuking on a whole nother level. Like, don't play with me. Like, I'm not. But yes, so I am going live. Thank you, guys. Y'all like the all natural look? Y'all like the all natural look? Y'all like? Oh, okay. Okay. Don't. All right. Well, then that's good then. That's good then. Okay.
In today's video, we delve into the enigmatic world of the chameleon, a person who often changes their beliefs or behavior to please others or achieve success. What makes the chameleon so fascinating is her ability to seamlessly adapt, utilizing her charisma, looks, and communication skills to achieve her goals. In this case, we'll focus on a female chameleon, Tyrese's ex-wife, Samantha Lee, showcasing how she leverages her natural attractiveness to manipulate situations.
Okay, so I go on to Hardly Initiated, which y'all at this point, Hardly Initiated interview, I would be absolutely ridiculous if I if I didn't address it, because it's definitely the elephant in the room. My whole goal of that Hardly Initiated interview was completely taking accountability for my part and how I would have done things differently. Now, some of those clips were completely taken out of context. There was only it was a 2.5 hour interview. If you have not seen it already, go see it all the way through. Most people took the 2 20-second, 10-second clips that were clipped out and obviously created a stir and a buzz, which is what it's supposed to. It's the culture right now. But if you really watch the content, my whole point and my whole goal of that particular interview was for me to basically share what I would have done differently.
Well, this is exactly what we did. We watched the full 2-hour interview, just like we read Brittany Renner's book, so you don't have to. Just like we watched the Barbie movie, so you don't have to. And like we always say, women always tell on themselves. Just let them talk long enough. And often it's in the things they do not say that expose them as chameleons.
First thing I said was that at the time of certain things, I when I filed, I filed in the heat of a moment. I was very, very hurt. I was very, very angry. I never said I regretted my whole decision. What I did say was I regretted doing it in a moment where I was emotionally intoxicated. If I could take that back, I would. That doesn't mean I regretted the decision. I regretted doing it in a moment where I was highly emotional and I was not on with people that would give me wise counsel.
At first glance, her statement appears compelling because we all know accountability is a woman's kryptonite. But you heard it from her own mouth. She does not regret the decision. Let's take it a step further.
You don't win when a family is broken apart. I think Jay-Z said this. He's like, nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah.
When you get lawyers involved, and there was a therapist that was speaking to both me and him, a marital therapist at the time, that when I told him my decision, he was like, when you get lawyers involved, it gets ugly. He told me that. And, I didn't even realize, I don't think I even realized how ugly it would get, And like I said, if I could walk back in time, sometimes I battle with myself about that. But at that time, I thought I was doing the right thing or the best thing. I didn't know how ugly it could get.
Aha, like I always say, focus on the information that's consistent. She made the decision to get lawyers involved. She was informed how ugly it could get. Even though she says nobody wins in court, she is still in court. Why is she still in court? Check this out.
And I did. I took full accountability. I did not talk about anything with my particular, the in-depth part of my relationship or, what led me to the decision of divorce. I didn't talk about any of the specifics. I'm not going to. I've always said that is not something I will ever address out of respect to my child's father, because regardless, we have a child, and I never, ever, ever want to be anywhere where I'm bad-mouthing him. I just don't think that that's the way to do it. We've already gone through a lot, so it's not for me to bad-mouth him in any way, shape, or form, which is why that interview was all about me just looking back, and hopefully somebody can get, if they're on that situation and they're considering divorce, they're considering certain things. There are certain things that I want people to take from that, so that hopefully you can make a good decision, the best decision for your situation.
Samantha Lee practices selective accountability. She only came on that show to tell you what she wants you to know. That's why in this 2-hour interview, there is no mention of the reason or reasons why she's still in court. Check this out.
Divorce is finalized. So there's a lot of things going out there, but our divorce is finalized. We are not, that's that. It is not final. It is finalized.
She wanted a divorce. She got a divorce. It's finalized. Why is she still in court? Because she wants something else. Guess what that is?
So if you had people in your ear at the time, they must be still in your ear, because you're still trying to get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old. You make $160,000 a year on your own.
We have a problem with Samantha Lee's content focused on helping others, particularly her male audience. The issue lies in her lack of transparency about her ongoing court case, which is crucial for men to protect themselves from similar situations. If she were to reveal that she's in court seeking $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old daughter, while already earning $160,000 a year, her motives will be perceived as questionable and unreasonable. Let's take it a step further.
And if you really are really suddenly caring about the effects that you've had on me and your family, why don't you sit these lawyers off of me? Call your lawyers right now and tell them that everything that you're still trying to get right now, you don't want it no more. $20,000 a month for a child? Our prenup says no alimony. Our prenup said everything that the prenup said. You're trying to crack the prenup. And it's been 3 years of it. I should have never hired an attorney. I had a prenup. Everything that I was supposed to give you in the prenup, I gave it to you. You want more. And it's been 3 years.
She willingly signed a prenuptial agreement. Chameleons have a plan. She is aware that prenups can be challenged in court, and there are instances where judges may invalidate or modify them. However, Tyrese's prenup appears to be airtight, and her legal efforts to challenge it have been unsuccessful. Consequently, this court case has extended over 3 long years. Now, the question arises, if she were truly an accountable person, why hasn't she contacted her lawyers and informed them that she no longer wishes to pursue her original demands? The answer to this question lies in the following clip.
You've hired 3 law firms trying to suck me dry. I'm approaching $1 million in legal fees, and we had a prenup.
Legal fees. Samantha Lee hired 3 law firms, and they told her she had a case because the court system, family courts, are biased in favor of women.
This last clip is proof positive that chameleons are all among us. They're in every socioeconomic tier, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Case in point, we will examine this assessment done by Crimson Cure on a young lady appearing on the Kendra G live show.
First thing I need brothers to understand about chameleons is that they present initially like lionesses. She is fit. She's not a fat, overweight woman. She is presentable. She didn't get on there with a bonnet. She didn't get on there looking crazy. She didn't get on there looking dirty. Her background is nice, okay? Which would allude to femininity. She is articulate. She is well-spoken. Now, she's very loquacious. This is problematic. That's almost red flag number 1. She talking a lot for simple questions. Lots and lots and lots of context where context is not needed. Typically, chameleons will give you a whole lot of context because they're trying to find which part of what they're saying you like and which part you don't like. Okay? So she's initially presenting as how a lioness would present. She doesn't have a cake face worth of makeup on. This appears to be her real hair. She, like I said, she's fit. Her background is nice. It's clean. Okay? She didn't go, you don't hear kids in the background. She doesn't have children. Okay? She doesn't have any children. All right? And so you would get initial lioness from her. Because this is the way a lioness would present herself. Clean, feminine, articulate, intelligent. She's not coming around with a gang of makeup, fake nails, all of the trappings of a hyena. A lioness isn't gonna show up like that. Okay? A lioness would show up like this. She would make sure that her background is clean. She would make sure that her environment was presentable as well as herself. Exactly. Abu Quran said you don't hear smoke detectors in the back. You don't hear kids in the back. You don't hear all kinds of commotion in the back. It's nothing like that. So this is how a lioness would present herself. This is why chameleonism is rampant. Ever since Kevin Samuel said fit, feminine, and friendly, chameleons have decided that those are the only 3 things that they need to affect and that they need to perpetrate on in order to get a man. Okay? So one of the first red flags is she's on Kendra G show. After dating the men that she's looking for. We're gonna hear it. We're gonna hear it as the clip continues. She's going to say about the men she has dated. She's only 24. She's a good-looking woman. She doesn't have children. Why is she still? She says she's been looking for a husband. She says she's been looking for a husband. Do you understand? And she has been around and has dated the men that she's looking for. Yet.
Provider. So do you not want to pay any bills?
So with that, it's so I was raised, my mom was a housewife when I was a child, so and my grandmother the same way. So I'm used to seeing women in a position of like motherly in the house. I do work now, and throughout dating, I don't plan not to quit my job, but if I'm going to be having lots of kids, which I do, not lots, but a few kids, I don't want to have to go to work. Like, I want it to be an option for me, or even to do work that is like something that fulfills me. Like, one of the things I'm interested in is like opening a nonprofit for housing. So that's not, building that from the ground up would not be a traditional clock in, clock out, or salaried employment. So that's something I want the flexibility to do, but dating up until that marriage, I don't want him, I want him to be able to, I don't want him to be growing into that. I want that to be already kind of on the table.
Translation, she wants him already at the finish line so she can collect the bag.
And you said, so he has to already have it together.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's low-key a red flag right there. She is only 24. She's only 24. I'm going to say this. She don't want to build with no man, and that's a problem. You have to be willing to build with a man. If you want a man that is making enough money that whatever you do as work can be considered a hobby that you can put up and put down, and it doesn't really have any true bearing on the income for the household or the income for the family or anything like that, right? Then you have to assist, you have to help meet a man to get to that point. The only thing that you want him to do, if he doesn't actually have it when you meet him, you want him to have the structure to get there. This is why I talk so much about the vision and the goals, right? Because if you meet a man that actually has the goal and the ambition and the drive to do what it is that you think he should be doing or what aligns with you, quote unquote, and I'm using this language, I'm kind of using this language from the perspective of how modern women talk, right? Then you're gonna have to be willing to get down into the trenches. Now she's talking about what example her mother said. Her mother was a housewife and things of that nature, the women in her family. I bet you she's not willing to do what those women have done in order to get in that position. And I bet you she's not willing to accept what those women have accepted in order to be in those positions. Because unless her father was extremely well-to-do when her mother met her father, because we don't know the condition or the financial condition of her parents, right? Let's say they're well-to-do now, but that doesn't mean that they were well-to-do when her parents met. So was her mother willing to go through the growing pain with her husband to raise a family, to get to the ups, to get to the downs, to complete the goals, to go through the setbacks, to go through, her mom, what did her mom do? Because if her mom met her dad and her dad didn't have all of that stuff that maybe he's got now, hypothetically, then she's not really following the example of her mother.
Here are my final thoughts on the subject at hand concerning chameleons. I know this video was a tad bit longer than usual, but I think it grasped a variety of areas where men need to understand one important factor, and this can be the male reality lesson for today, and that is to vet anyone, not just women, but anyone you're coming in contact with that you're going to involve yourself with from an emotional and a financial standpoint. So you really need to understand, especially with women, what their true intentions are, and you need to approach every situation, whether it's professional or personal, with a keen eye and understand everything is not always what it appears to be. Yet, I want to hear from you in the comments section. Tell me what you think of the current state of affairs with regards to chameleons that are among us. As always, I want to thank you for watching. Take an opportunity to check out some other videos on my channel that will appear on the final page. Thank you and have a good day.